Hey everybody, welcome back to Behind the Line. I want to read you something really quickly. I want you guys to understand it, okay? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to speak to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Do you understand these rights as they have been read to you? Having these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to us now? That is the Miranda warning. Today we're going to talk about it. I am on patrol while I'm parked right now, but we're going to talk about the Miranda warning here and what it means and when should it be used, where did it come from, and stuff like that. So Ernesto Miranda, back in Arizona, he did something really bad to a 13-year-old girl. You can look it up on Wikipedia. He was questioned. He was brought in for interrogation, and they interrogated him for about 2 hours. They did advise him that, he had the right to remain silent. Anything he said or he did could be used against him. He even signed a little form that said he consented to talking to the police. All right, but here's the problem. What they didn't do, and I don't blame the police because it wasn't a uniformed thing at the time. There was no Miranda warning. What they didn't do was advise him that he could have a lawyer with him as they questioned him. Again, this was something that wasn't uniformed yet. States had different ways of, advising people of rights. Some didn't advise people at all. And so Ernesto Miranda became famous with his case. I don't remember what happened to him, but like I said, it's all on Wikipedia. Anyway, the Miranda warning I read to you advises you that anything you say can and will. It doesn't say or, can and will be used against you. Anything you say or do can and will. That is one of the elements, okay? That's an important thing. It has to be in the warning. Not all states have the same uniformed statement of the Miranda warning, so they could be different. But can and will be used against you. That's one element. You have the right to an attorney to be present while we question you. Not just the right to an attorney, but to be present when they question you. That means they have to wait. We have to wait before we start questioning you until you get your attorney there. That's important, okay? And then we have to ask you if you understand the rights, okay? And then ask if you're willing to talk to us now. Now that you know the rights, do you want to talk? You have the right to remain silent. You could talk to the police, and you then can revoke talking to the police at any time. So what that means is that you could say, you know what, I'll agree to talk to the police, and then at some point during the interview or interrogation, you say, you know what, I don't want to talk to you anymore, not without my lawyer. Then the police officer has to stop. They can't keep continuing. But if you say, well, I'll talk to you now, they can start talking to you again, as long as you're okay with it. Police officers can ask you if they wish to speak to you or speak to them, and they may, re-Mirandize you again, right? So it's not unlawful for a cop to ask you, can you talk to me now? They might ask you 50 times, hey, do you want to talk now? How about now? Do you want to talk now? You don't have to speak to them. But if they do end up talking to you again, most of the time, those police officers are going to read those rights again to make sure you understand them. A lot of departments now have you sign the waiver and also record you video-wise to show that you understand, okay? What are my feelings on the Miranda rights? I think it's an important condom. It's a legal condom, both for you, the suspect, and for they, the police, us, okay? It protects their case, because now they're asking you freely have told them, I understand, I'm willing to talk to you, even though I know that there's some bad shit that can happen to me, and it's a protection for you, because now you understand what will happen to you once you're done speaking to them, okay? Can and will is a very important statement, because it will be used against you. Okay, and it's not just the police that use it against you, all right? A lot of people think it's the cops. The cops are being dicks and they're just trying to hang people. It really isn't. There's also detectives, but more importantly, there's prosecutors. And the prosecutors are the ones that are looking to hang you on your case, okay? A lot of people think it's just the cops. The cops are the assholes, blah, blah, blah. There are many people. There are professional witnesses. There are There are prosecutors, judges, even the jury will use your words to hang you. Okay? It's not just the police. All right. Now that you know what it is, okay, let's talk a little bit further here. When can a police officer Mirandize you? Do they even have to? The question is no, they don't have to, unless certain conditions are met. Okay? What are the conditions? So there's a difference between an interview and an interrogation. Okay? Those are by law, by Supreme Court and law, those are two separate things. An interview is me coming up to you, asking you questions about who you are, what's your name, your phone number, address, what did you see? A general question. What happened? What did you see? Those are not interrogative questions. It's a basic question that I'm asking you that anybody on the street could ask anybody. All right? Don't be fooled by that statement. It could turn into an interrogative afterwards, depending on what you say. But in the meantime, it is an interview. It's me asking you basic information that doesn't link you to a crime. I do not have to tell you of your Miranda rights if I'm just simply interviewing you or having a consensual contact with you at any point in time. Let's say I'm having coffee in the gas station. You walk in, we talk to each other, hey, and we're just having a conversation. However, if I'm trying to link you to the crime, if I'm trying to say, hey man, why did you have that bloody knife standing over that person in the apartment? That is a direct question that links you directly to the crime. Why did you have that candy bar in your pants? Why did you steal? Where were you? Depending on what the question does, why were you going from this point A to point B? If that point A to point B puts you through the crime scene, that could be considered an interrogative. Okay. If a police officer's interviewing you and he hasn't given you the Miranda warning and you say something that directly connects you, you say it, not him, then he's probably going to pull out his Miranda warning if he's smart. He's going to Mirandize you and say, okay, let's talk about that again. Okay? There's also something you should know. There's something called spontaneous utterances, right? Let's say I'm interviewing you and, I'm asking you a question. I'm like, hey, what happened? Oh, yeah, I saw it was a terrible accident. And you don't say anything. You don't even tell me you're part of the accident. And then all of a sudden you say something, man, I shouldn't have been drinking that much. That person wouldn't have been killed. That's a spontaneous utterance. I didn't ask you a direct question, but that could be used against you. I didn't have to Mirandize you for that. It's something you said. Now, if I'm going to ask you questions on that, it's probably smart that I Mirandize you. Now, some departments push for police officers to use the Miranda warning almost in all of their contacts, even consensual. Some departments don't push at all. My department doesn't push at all. I think that's a crock of shit in 2024. All right? Police already don't trust, or people don't trust the police now as it is. So why am I going to make it worse? Right? If I'm going to ask you questions that are going to directly connect you to something, or not, let's say you're a witness, and there's a possibility you're connected, why am I not going to give you that warning? It's good for me and good for you, right? My department's idea is, well, we don't want to tell the guy the Miranda warning too many times, because you could be advised of it many times throughout a night. They don't want to be advising you several times because they don't want to shut you down from talking to the detectives later on. I don't believe in that stuff. I think that people should know their rights immediately. I may not give it to you, the warning that is, to you during an interview, but if you say something that's strange, I may Mirandize you, even if you have nothing to do with the crime, just so that there's no issues between me and you. And I think most police officers should attempt to Mirandize more often than they do right now. So that's about it. That's about all. The Miranda warning, I think it's a very important piece of words that will go a long way for your case. Because if you don't say them, or if you don't say them correctly and don't put all the elements in them, the case is going to get thrown out, guys. They're not going to sit there and let you, destroy a man's life. because you failed to do your job, right? And as far as you go, if you're the citizen and you get questioned by the police, remember, it's not just the police you're talking to. That report might be seen by hundreds of people. Trust me, I mean that, like hundreds of people. It might be seen by jurors. It might be seen by defense and prosecuting attorneys. It will be seen by the judge. It might be seen by expert witnesses, all right? It might be seen by half the people on the department who the officer wrote the report for, all right? You're not just protecting yourself against a cop, all right? The person who tries to nail the coffin in your life when it comes to legal issues is the prosecutor. And that's the person that you're trying to protect yourself from. The police officer's just going to hear what you say and record it. That's what they are. They're professional witnesses. That's what we do all day long. So I hope this video helped you. I hope that it makes a little bit more sense about the Miranda warning. And I hope you guys stay safe out there. And I will talk to you later.